athletes who have given so much to their sport. Between them, 19 professional championships, 202 career victories. Throughout the 1990s, Jeremy McGrath was the sport's standard bearer. Showtime brought the sport to the big time. He left racing 2 years ago with every important record on the books. Rewriting those chronicles has been the career achievement of Ricky Carmichael. 11 titles, well over 100 victories, and you can say with certainty that RC has taken the torch from MC and served the sport well. On the same track, in the same race, now is a special chance for you to watch Supercross's two greatest stars together again. 250 Supercross is now. To San Diego, California, Qualcomm Stadium for the 2005 THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Mother Nature delivered a little rain just before opening ceremonies, but it's not dampening the spirits of these fans as they come to the birthplace of Supercross in Southern California, San Diego. Well, Ricky Carmichael has won 5 in a row. Everyone knows that. Maybe the man who knows it more than anyone else is the defending champion in Chad Reed. Tonight may be the night that he can turn it around because Chad has won here the last 2 years. Also, Kevin Windham, if we do get rain, remember Anaheim #1, he was magnificent in the mud. Let's take a look at the point standings right now. First, on the THQ AMA side, it's Ricky Carmichael with a hefty lead over Chad Reed. And then as we take a look at the THQ World Supercross GP, again, Ricky Carmichael is your leader by virtue of those 2 big wins up in Canada. Well, we've got a great night of racing. Glad you joined us for the second hour of Supercross here on ESPN2. My colleague Cameron Steele caught up with RC earlier in the day.
Well, thanks, Todd. I'm hanging out here with Ricky Carmichael, 3-time Supercross champ and a man on a roll, 5 wins in a row. Ricky, would you have guessed this going into the season you'd be here?
Oh, dude, never. Things have gone exceptionally well. I didn't expect to be in this position. I got a great points lead and looking to protect that points lead at the same time, try to get some more race wins.
Comfortable, in control, winning races, and so many races and championships. We have to draw the comparison to Jeremy McGrath, the king of Supercross. Do you kind of now know what he felt like when he was at the top of his game? I mean, do you feel a comparison here that's fair?
Oh, yeah. You know, we both have won a lot of races. Him definitely dominating in Supercross, and I'm kind of spread out around the board, and we definitely got her done. And, you know, we have something in common, and I think we feel the same things that, you know, I think we both felt the same feelings, and it's a pretty awesome feeling.
Well, my question is, can there be 2 kings of one sport because they're both awesome? And right now, Jamie Little's with the other king.
Well, Cameron, Jeremy McGrath was the man to beat when Ricky Carmichael was coming up through the pack. Now things have changed, but here Jeremy is 7-time Supercross champion. He's been out for 2 years, but he's jumping in, giving us a little taste. Jer, how's the year going so far?
Well, so far it's been a little bit up and down. I mean, obviously I'm having a great time. I'm loving it and really enjoying the racing and stuff. Anaheim 1 was muddy, of course, and then my big crash at Anaheim 3 was very unexpected. And I meant to race Indy, you know, and then I got a little hurt. So I'm happy to be back here in San Diego, and things are going okay, but I'm not used to the up and down.
Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling all right. I'm still a little bit bruised. I mean, I haven't hit the deck that hard in a long time, so it was a good shock to my right rib cage. And like I said last week, I really wanted to race, but I just really couldn't take deep breaths until this week. So I've ridden once in 2 weeks, and here I am.
Jeremy, we were just watching you in practice, going back and forth, following Ricky Carmichael around a little bit. What changes have you seen this guy go through since he first came into the ranks?
Well, Ricky's really evolved. I mean, he's really come full circle. I mean, he looks great on his Suzuki, and it's a really funny thing to say about RC, but he looks so smooth. And for a long time, he was more fly by the seat of your pants, hang off the back of the bike, and just get it done. And now he's doing it with some style, doing it with some precision, and it's definitely nice to see. I mean, he works his butt off, and he works for it, and I mean, what can you say? He's the winningest rider in our sport, so he's getting it done.
All right, well, enjoy Jeremy McGrath while you can. This is his 5th race back, and we don't know when we're going to see him again, Todd.
Well, it'll be great to have RC and MC on the track tonight as the skies have cleared and the rain has dissipated. And Who is the best of the best? Look at those stats for each man. Jeremy McGrath on top, the American Honda rider, Ricky Carmichael now on the Suzuki, and there's a lot of numbers on there. We'll find out with these two going head-to-head possibly tonight in the main event. Before we do that, let's take a look at our track, and for that, here's Cameron Steele.
And now it's time to check out how the 250s will take on this MX versus ATV Unleashed track map. Again, the short start straight, but they're going to come through the section. They'll double into these whoops, and they are tough. But watch for riders and skip. Don't drop your wheel. If it's raining, this section will be very tough to get through getting into the triple. No rain, the triple will be no problem. And then you can step on and step off here, but watch for guys to really be airing it out in there if the track stays dry. Also another triple jump, small stutter section, and then a rhythm section with multiple options. Watch for riders again to be tripling out, and watch for people diving inside of each other in that corner. More whoops, the toughest we've seen all year, and then you're going to come around to your finish line, and that is your MX versus ATV Unleashed track map.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron, as we take a look at our MX versus ATV Unleashed track facts. And tell you what, a lot of work has been done because last night this track was an absolute swamp. They put in 5 hard hours today, taking it off the Bisqueen, bringing in the lime, doing a fantastic job. Our thanks to them. Here's how you advance to the main event. We got 2 heats, 8 transfer, 2 semis, 10 transfer, and then the LCQ with only 2 transferring out as we take a look at our starting grid. For 250, heat number 1, Reed's here, as is Windham and Jeremy McGrath. Cameron, this thing is absolutely loaded, and remember, we're only taking the top 4 to the main event as the 32nd board has gone sideways. We're ready to go racing in San Diego. McGrath with a great jump to the inside, but it's Kevin Windham who has the line, and here comes McGrath. Stand back as this stadium gets ready to go nuts. Well, for a guy who was considering not riding tonight, Cameron, because of the mud, all of San Diego happy to have him here. Jeremy McGrath, your leader, with Chad Reed in second. Kevin Windham sits in third.
Well, one thing about it, Jeremy McGrath is a Supercross specialist, and with only 7 minutes of practice time for everybody, that's really going to benefit those riders that are really tuned in with Supercross. The 3 riders in front are those guys. It looks like Chad Reed is going to look for a way around McGrath. McGrath does have the inside here, though. Let's watch the whoops.
Jeremy squares it off, unable to get the drive. Chad Reed gets to the whoops quicker. So Chad Reed passing his childhood idol, Jeremy McGrath. 22 goes to the front. McGrath gets the second, and he's got more problems because here comes Kevin Windham.
Watch the next whoop section. These are the gnarliest whoops we've seen all year. Let's see how Chad Reed takes them. McGrath having no problem there, right? And you saw Kevin Windham drop just a little bit in there. Remember that Windham is still battling the sciatic nerve in his leg, sometimes feels numbness. He's still running his brake lever up just a little higher, running his valves a little looser, so it's a little easier to start the motorcycle if he has to. Look at that, right to the inside.
Kevin Windham makes the pass on Jeremy McGrath. So it's Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, and Jeremy McGrath, your top 3. Then Heath Voss comes into view with David Billaman behind him. That's the top 5. Let's take a look at the Reed pass first of all. I'm sure a little bittersweet move for Chad Reed putting the pass on it.
Well, just going outside in, you see Chad sliding around there on that slick spot in the corner, but able to get the drive. The guy is just amazing in the whoops, and Chad Reed has the fastest lap times in practice. And then take a look at it again. Watch, McGrath knows he's there, tries to go high, boom. In comes Chad on the inside of him. He just went high first and dove inside.
Chad's exit speeds are unbelievable. There is Kevin Windham. He currently sits in second place. Jeremy McGrath right behind him in third, and then it is Heath Voss. Those are your 4 transfer positions. And as Jeremy's having a great race and Chad's all but checked in, I'll tell you the person who may be on the biggest hot seat, that's Heath Voss, because David Billaman is coming up and coming up quick behind Voss.
And as we know, 4 riders will transfer straight into the main event, so you don't want to ride that semifinal if you don't have to. And you can see there, that is David Billaman on the number 12, chasing his Yamaha teammate there on the 13. Let's see if David can get a run in the whoops, but Heath has been looking great there.
Heath Voss holding off David Billaman for the time being. Will the Cobra strike and make the pass? Come back and find out after this. This is the battle for 4th. Jeremy McGrath, number 2, on board the Honda. And then it is the the blue of the Yamaha. It's Voss and Billaman right now. Voss, number 13, Billaman, number 12, and Billaman makes the pass. Voss went a little too high. David Billaman grabbed him tight and came in shut it down. So now he'll go to work on Jeremy McGrath, number 2. And remember, David Villeman won here, Cameron, 3 years ago.
And a lot of people talk about it. Look at the run in the whoop Heath Voss has. He starts dropping down. I've been watching Heath in the whoops and watching the tougher section whoop. He actually has been getting better runs than David Villeman there.
You're looking at Jeremy McGrath on board the Honda. Behind him, number 12, that is David Villeman on board the Yamaha. Here's where they've been closing in on McGrath in the whoop section, unable to do it there. And Villeman is just right behind McGrath. Voss now back into play.
That is such a tough whoop section. In the main event, that is going to be
Here it
difficult
is.
to make it through every time.
And Jeremy left the door with just a little bit, but comes back on the inside. Now he has the line. Gets it right back. Oh, my!
He's got the line, though, and he leaves room for McGrath, but he's got the line quicker out of the corner with the sliding turn, and a nice pass by David Villeman.
So David Villeman moves into 4th place. Jeremy McGrath now trying to close it in, but McGrath got company in the form of Heath Voss, number 13.
And Voss just dropping at the end of the whoops. It looked like he was going to have a great run, but just the front wheel dropping down, the back wheel starting to catch, and you got to be careful not to end up over the bars. See McGrath having a problem just before the whoops. And look at those whoops again. Voss has been running them, giving the top. That time, really not able to do it, dropping way down inside.
Jeremy McGrath has won San Diego 250 Supercross 5 consecutive times. Tonight he is just battling to hold on to a 4th and final qualifying position, so he'll get into the main event. And Cameron, I tell you, for a guy who sat out for 2 years, he looks awfully fast.
Well, he's definitely been doing a lot of riding his off time, doing supermoto, doing some other things, and Jeremy's just a dirt bike lover, motorcycle lover, does a lot of riding.
White flag is out. Your leader, Chad Reed. Kevin Windham sits in 2nd. David Villeman is in 3rd, and Jeremy McGrath is in 4th place. And McGrath is in a transfer position. That's the good news. As you see some empty seats down low, folks, normally this place is packed, but because of the rain we had just before the start of the show, a lot of people have taken cover, and it'll fill back in as Mother Nature keeps the rain away. Villeman with a slight bobble, and here comes Jeremy McGrath. I don't know what happened there, Cameron, just a lack of focus or something, and David just opened the door. McGrath just jumped all over it.
Well, there are some tough sections on the track, especially with a slight bit of mud, and really the key part is the whoops. Both sets of whoops are where riders are having problems.
Chad Reed brings it around. No one threatening him. Your winner, 250 heat number 1, Chad Reed, the Thunder from Down Under. As we go back to the battle, number 12 is David Villeman. McGrath starting to fade just a little bit, but McGrath is in a 4th and final transfer position. So Jeremy McGrath, congratulations, a great start and a 4th place finish. He is on to the main event. So your results from 250 heat number 1 look like this. It's Chad Reed, followed by Kevin Windham, David Villeman, and Jeremy McGrath, all moving on to the main event. Let's set it down to the podium and Jamie Little.
Well, Todd, Mr. Chad Reed was a different man today. Mr. Smiley, go lucky. Chad, what's the difference in the attitude?
I don't know. I just feel good, and you know, I don't think it's any different than any other time. You know, it's tough to get beat every weekend, and it's tough to come back up here, put a smile on your face, and stay positive. You know, everyone works so damn hard, and we want to win, but it just hasn't been happening. And you know, I just gonna try to do the best I can. You know, I can't be consumed by winning. It's, you know, that's in the back of your head, but you gotta ride the track and do the best you can.
All right, guys. Well, Chad took the win here last year, and he wants to put a stop to Ricky Carmichael. We'll see if he can do it in the main. Todd?
250 heat number 2, staging on the line. As you take a look at the starting grid, this will be a tough one with Ricky Carmichael, Mike LaRocca, Ernesto Fonseca, and Michael Byrne, also Tyler Evans. But Michael Byrne, Cameron, maybe the most impressive of the last few races. He has looked awfully fast.
He did, and podium 2 races ago, really thought we get a ton from him. The last race, not quite as good a result. A little bit frustrating there for Burner coming with the 10th place, but this guy has no frustration whatsoever.
Ricky Carmichael on a 5-event win streak. He's also running the ESPN2 helmet cam tonight, so once again, quite possibly the fastest cameraman in the business. As we take a look at Mike LaRocca, we saw him last week in Indianapolis, Indiana, hoping that lightning was going to strike twice. Not the case for the Rock, but he's here again as the 32nd board goes sideways. 250 heat 2 from San Diego. And look at our
Carmichael just blowing out of the gate. It looked like he wheelied the gate. He was so far out front, even though he didn't, folks.
Carmichael just flies out of the gate, picks up the whole shot, and who we got right behind him?
And impressive there, you saw a pass by Tyler Evans getting right past Ernesto Fonseca right in that next corner. So Burner is chasing Carmichael, and now Fonseca.
So Michael Byrne sits in second. Ricky Carmichael is your leader, and then it's Fonseca and LaRocco. And look at this, Tyler Evans is mixing it up now with Ernesto Fonseca. And we go back to Anaheim, Cameron. We'll keep an eye on these two.
And that is the fourth and final transfer spot. You saw Evans there make a mistake. LaRocco goes on to the inside. That puts Evans on the outside, but
Tyler struggling just a little bit through that whoop section. Michael LaRocco able to get away from him. Ernesto Fonseca pulling away, but it's Carmichael going through first on the green flag left. Then Michael Byrne, and then Ernesto Fonseca and Mike LaRocco. So those are the top four, and we're only taking four to the main event.
impressive. Evans pulling up alongside of LaRocco. Look at him going to the inside. Now we saw him have a hard pass with Ernesto Fonseca, as you were saying. My question is, would he do the same thing to Mike LaRocco?
Well, Tyler's always said, you know, I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a dirty racer, but if you're in front of me, don't take it personally. I just want to pass you. And one of the hardest guys to pass is Mike LaRocco. LaRocco, for a second there, Cam, looked like he was going to leave the door open. Saw his mistake, closed it down, and Tyler at number 47 had to take a different line.
And Tyler Evans riding for Bloodshot and Skaterade aboard the Suzuki, and it's Tyler's birthday today. And the bad news of all that is that he's riding with the flu, so he's been sleeping all day in his trailer, and I expect he'll be running a little bit out of steam as the evening goes on.
Number 24 is Ernesto Fonseca. He currently sits in third place. Mike LaRocco, number 5, on board the Honda, sits in fourth place. Top four of the main event, and Tyler Evans. Cameron, I think the question for him would be tonight, stamina. You know, the flu just sucks the strength out of you, although Michael Jordan did pretty nice. He had the flu one time, went off for 40-something points. We'll see if Tyler can pull a Jordan-esque-like move as we watch Fonseca and LaRocco go through.
And Fonseca looked good in that 1 7-minute practice. He looked very solid, getting all the obstacles. And if you watch what he's been doing so far, he's been really racing everything on the track, which is so important, especially when it's slippery, to be able to get the traction, race down the landings, race through the corners, and we've been talking about it quite a bit.
We'll step aside, take a break. When we come back, we'll see if Ricky Carmichael can get the win. Here's what the start looked like from Carmichael's helmet cam. Ricky Carmichael went down in a very difficult section. The handlebar completely compressed down in. He tried to ride even tripling with a bent handlebar. He is pulled in to see his mechanic, Mike Gosler. Gosler's made a slight adjustment. Cameron, he is back up and riding, but Carmichael has dropped back to 8th place. And the bike still doesn't look right. And now I got to ask you, is it the handlebar, is it the clutch, because it's on that left-hand side?
Well, let's take a look at what happened. He clipped in that section where we talked about going into the triple. It was going to be a ruthless section all night. The problem is that riders are trying to skim off the second bump over the third and then double, but there's a little bit of moisture in there and there's some rust.
Well, there's your leader right now, number 26, Michael Byrne. I got to imagine that his eyes were just enormous because Ricky had about an 8-second lead, and he comes around that corner and sees Carmichael in the dirt. Unbelievable. We'll find out from Jamie Little momentarily, see what happened down that pit stop. But Michael Byrne is your leader. Ernesto Fonseca now sits in second. Mike LaRocco in third, and maybe the best news for Tyler Evans, Cameron, he's in transfer position.
He is. That's a Ricky Carmichael gave him a birthday present.
Oh, well, that was an intentional, but wow, that was difficult. I mean, you think about how hard he compressed his chest into the handlebars there.
And like we say, anything can happen in Supercross. Look at this going to the inside. Now that's a very flat corner.
And Ricky Carmichael is pulled off the track, loaded up with Mike Gosler, and he has gone into the tunnel. Unbelievable. So Ricky Carmichael's decided, Cameron, you say he's a smart champion, not to risk it out here with a bad set of bars.
The only thing that's going to cost him is the starting position in his semi. He will get last gate pick to go into a semi, but that's not going to hurt him. You saw the whole shot he had. Now, the thing I was talking about is, if that's the main event, what happens? I mean, yes, he's got Chad Reed covered by a whole race, but if something like that happens,
he gives it all away.
He does indeed. Ernesto Fonseca not giving up here either, and I like to see Ernesto try to get up there, battle with Byrne. These two guys have a similar speed, and they've been right in the mix at times.
This is your battle for first place, 250 heat number 2. Michael Byrne and Ernesto Fonseca. Byrne on board the Kawasaki. And look at Ernesto. Blows right past him. Fonseca takes over the lead. The number 24 Honda goes to first. The number 26 Kawasaki slides back to second. The white flag is out.
Watch them when they come around this whoop section. Look at this. Byrne has the line, but Ernesto's been faster in these whoops. Remember, they are scary, though. And Ernesto electing to rhythm through them. A little bit safer way to do it instead of skimming.
So the race is on. The final lap, 250, heat number 2. If you're just joining us, Ricky Carmichael has a pretty hard crash, goes down, and his handlebars or clutch will get confirmation from Jamie Little momentarily. Unable to continue the race, so he pulls off. He's off to a semi-race, and this is the battle for first. Ernesto Fonseca, your leader, with Michael Byrne right behind.
And now Burner, he's still looking for a way around, but let's watch in this whoop section. Ernesto much faster last time around. Let's see how this goes for him. Both riders dropping just a little bit down into the whoops.
Ernesto Fonseca grabs the checkered flag. Your winner, 250 heat number 2, Ernesto Fonseca. But what a turn of events, Cameron. Just when we thought Ricky had this thing sewn up, you make a great point. If that had been the main, all kinds of trouble. So your final results, 250 heat number 2. They look like this. It's Ernesto Fonseca getting the win for Honda, followed by Michael Byrne, Mike LaRocco, and Tyler Evans, all moving on to the main event. Ricky Carmichael will go to the semifinals to try and qualify for the main. And with that, let's check in with Jamie.
Well, Ernesto Fonseca certainly capitalized on Ricky Carmichael's mistake. Ernie, hey, I know you'll take it any way you can get it, but I have to ask you, in practice, you were really struggling with the whoops. How did you make such a turnaround? You look great tonight.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You know, I mean, the whoops are tough, and they got a hold right to the right side, and you know, take advantage of that. I've been just jumping through there, and for me, it's a little bit easier. Maybe for some guys, it's a little bit tougher, but you know, just capitalized on Ricky's errors, like you said, and I'm glad. I mean, my factory Honda was working great, and hopefully a good main event tonight.
Is he on top of the box?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a little bit confident. Hey, we're going to go back in the pits right now, find out what's happening with Ricky Carmichael. We will get back to you with the report soon. Todd?
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Congratulations to Ernesto Fonseca and Honda for picking up that victory. Very opportunistic, right place at the right time, taking advantage of a mishap by Ricky Carmichael. Speaking of which, our Jamie Little has hustled up the tunnel. She is now in the pits and standing by with this Honda pit report.
Well, as you guys can see over my shoulder, Ricky Carmichael's sitting back there waiting for the semi to begin. Good news is he is fine physically. Now let's spin around here. There's about 6 different guys working on his bike. I talked to Roger DeCoster, and he said what happened. Ricky told me he overjumped, and when he landed, he bent everything he thought. It wouldn't go straight. The bike would not roll straight. Roger DeCoster getting his hands in here. And just as a precaution, they're replacing the front fork and the bars just to make sure that they're going to be safe all around, guys. So we will see Ricky back in the semi.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie, Roger DeCoster, and Mike Gosler. Very capable of getting that bike ready for the main event. As we go back and look at the highlights from semi number 1, it was Preston and Voss getting together.
Voss diving to the inside, but Travis was able to hold momentum and get the win in semi 1.
In semi 2 was all Ricky Carmichael. He told Jamie Little what happened in his heat race.
I just tried to carry a little too much speed over that roof peak, they call it, and overjumped the second one and didn't put my front wheel down on it, and I missed it, and it went into the third one, and I went over. But the guys at Suzuki, my mechanic Gosler, was working hard, you know, to get it ready. We didn't have much time, but I think it's important to have time on that. I do more time on this track. I didn't want it in that fashion, but I'm ready to go for the main.
As we take a look at our qualifying results, first off, it's the GameStop results from 250 Semi 1. Travis Preston. The Thor results Semi 2. It's Ricky Carmichael. And the Samsung Wireless LCQ results. It's Kanairi and Alop. Coming up, it's the 250 main. Can Ricky Carmichael give Suzuki their first main event victory in San Diego? Will the defending champ Chad Reed turn the tables on Carmichael and start a winning streak of his own? Plus, it's the return of the king, Jeremy McGrath and Qualcomm. The 250 main is next. San Diego, California's Qualcomm Stadium. It's the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele, Jamie Little reporting from the track. As we mentioned, the rain came earlier, but the fans did not stay away. unbelievable attendance despite the weather we had, and it could have been a lot worse. More than 53,000 fans have turned out, and we appreciate every single one of them that came to the turnstile sale at Qualcomm Stadium. As we pointed out, rained early this morning and just before the main event tonight, and a lot of the riders and mechanics thought it might be a mud race. So Jamie Little went down to the Suzuki pits, and in this Suzuki strategy report, she talked to Tony Berluti about mud preparation.
Well, Todd, it's all about mud preparation, and the perfect man to talk to, Tony Berluti, mechanic for Sebastian Tortelli. He was our top mechanic last week, by the way. Tony, you guys did great at Anaheim, our first mud race. Take us through some of your tricks here.
Well, we start out with the guards that cover the grips to keep the mud off the grips so the riders' hands don't slip. Also, what we've been doing lately is putting some pantyhose over the louvers of the radiators to keep the mud out of the radiators, keep the bike from getting overheating, excuse me. And also, we have our special spec Bridgestone tires, front and rear. And then also we put foam down in underneath the shifter to protect the shifter, and under the brake also. And then we use a non-skid seat cover so the rider doesn't slip on the seat.
Very nice. So, guys, there you have it. Get your woman's pair of pantyhose here, throw it on the bike, you're good to go for a mud race. And that is your Suzuki strategy.
So it all comes down to this at Qualcomm Stadium, the 250 main event, as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael, they're all here, Cameron, but Ricky did not have the best gate pick.
He definitely didn't. 9th gate pick is the way he came to it. Definitely an advantage for Chad Reed, who had the first gate pick, and it's also a psychological advantage, I'm sure, for Chad Reed. We know Ricky is tough as nails, though, and he is going to be coming both guns blazing.
There's Jeremy McGrath. He qualified, no problem, got 4th place in his heat race. Kevin Windham also had a very strong one, and Chad Reed a winner in his heat race. So Carmichael back with the helmet cam once again as the 32nd board goes vertical. And I'll tell you what, Cameron, despite having a 9th place pick on the gate, Ricky's still in pretty good company.
Well, his whole shot in his heat race was pretty amazing. He had a huge jump. We'll see if he can do the same here in the main event, and definitely don't want to see the same crash. They're getting ready to go.
32nd board is sideways. It's the 250 main from San Diego.
Oh, and Chad Reed looks like he spun it to start.
It's McGrath getting the whole shot out in front with Carmichael settling in his 2nd place. Kevin Windham in 3rd. Chad Reed, Cameron, you picked up on that. It looked like he slipped something. But it's McGrath and Carmichael.
Oh, looking over at each other.
Is this the official passing of the torch or what? Carmichael and McGrath, 1 and 2, 250 main from Qualcomm.
And you see Ricky Carmichael grabbing that tear off. Now, if you're Ricky Carmichael, you certainly hope that's the last tear off you need to grab until you start catching lappers. And MC is brilliant with his lines and protecting his lines, but we'll see if he can keep the other riders at bay. He has had the speed this weekend, but Chad Reed is on fire right now.
Here it is one more time. The Carmichael salute. Nice.
Carmichael pointing over to the king.
Nice camera work too, Ricky. He is out in front. McGrath sits in 2nd place, and here comes Chad Reed. Wow. Making royalty in Supercross right there, Cameron.
Darn straight. And includes some of them in the stands here tonight, like Ricky Johnson, a multiple-time winner here, working with the Makita Suzuki team, and Brock Glover also in the house. And right now, Chad Reed, he's looking for a line around McGrath. Remember, Chad Reed was the fastest rider in practice.
What do you think it would mean to the folks here at Qualcomm to see Jeremy McGrath on the podium as Chad Reed goes to the inside, has the drive, and passes him?
Wow.
So Carmichael, Reed, and McGrath, but Jeremy McGrath still in a podium position.
Well, they go absolutely bananas with McGrath on the microphone with the podium. We'll see if he can hold it together. He says he's been working on his trainer. Remember, he was sore. His ribs were sore from that crash at Anaheim 3. Didn't go to Indianapolis. Back here tonight, been looking quite good. And we'll see if he holds together for a podium. The real question is, Chad Reed and his speed. Can he catch up with Ricky Carmichael?
We'll keep an eye on the lap times, keep you abreast of what's going on there. Ricky Carmichael, remember, had that little incident earlier as he had to go through a semi to qualify. Here's the pass. Chad Reed, number 22, on Jeremy McGrath, number 2.
Carrying the momentum. You see him skip around. Look at that. Trying to scrub speed, but just flying farther than Jeremy, carrying the speed. Watch how much faster he's going when he goes off the jump. And you see him when he twists the bars and try to scrub it.
Hooking up quicker. Chad Reed makes the pass. Now, Cameron, Chad Reed has to do a magnificent job, I would say a masterful job, of working his way up to Ricky Carmichael, who's now about 80 yards ahead of Chad Reed.
And McGrath has some problems in the Cobra. David Villeman. These guys have done some battle over there. See, look at that. Just going to the inside, taking the line, but McGrath has the momentum, and now the inside in this next corner.
Jeremy McGrath passing back David Villeman. Villeman this time goes to the inside.
And McGrath protecting, going inside there.
Here comes Villeman again. They are staying right here. And here comes Kevin Windham. So David Villeman has maybe left himself open to Kevin Windham. And Wyndham's got a great drive to the whoop. Villeman inches ahead of him. And McGrath stays out in front of both of them.
Tight racing action. See Kevin Windham not using that rut like everybody else is. Electing to go a little bit outside and then in.
Talk about a nice threesome. It's Jeremy McGrath, Kevin Windham, and David Villeman. Does he make the pass? Does Reed stay out in front? Does Carmichael get the win? Come back and find out. An unbelievable turn of events as David Villeman gets past Jeremy McGrath, so he now moves into 3rd place. McGrath, though, hanging around in 4th place. Chad Reed starting to close just a little bit on Ricky Carmichael. He has the lead now down to about 4 seconds, and as Cameron Steele pointed out during the commercial break, could there be any more star power on the track right now?
And Voss had come up and passed Windham, and take a look here in this section. Villeman just carrying more speed, staying lower, and then McGrath not able to get this triple into the corner. David Villeman getting by.
And a big moment for Ricky Carmichael, quite possibly the reason why Chad's closing in. Oh, so close.
Carmichael.
Nice save.
And we saw him throw a wad up there in his heat race. Uncharacteristic.
So we'll give you the Tissot running order. Carmichael, Reed, Villeman, McGrath, LaRocco, Voss, and Kevin Windham, the top 7. And there's that much, and they are that close. Cameron, look at that.
And Tortelli in the picture now.
I got to give a shout out to Jeremy McGrath, Cameron, because he is technically, in his own words, he is part-time racing, and he is running 20 strong laps. We approach the halfway point. He's still running in the top 5 as Heath Voss shows him a little bit of tire, and he pays the price.
Jeremy shuts him down, but Michael Byrne on the outside on the Kawasaki looking like he's going to make that pass.
Burner getting by a lap right at that 782, and McGrath will say, I'll take that spot as well. So Michael Byrne now has moved up 3 positions. Jeremy McGrath sits behind him. Sebastian Tortelli is moving in, and Heath Voss unable to figure out that situation. Mike LaRocco also on the move as he advances forward. As we go through one more time, it's Carmichael, Reed, David Villeman now sits in 3rd, Mike LaRocco in 4th, and Jeremy McGrath in 5th after he actually 6th after he dropped behind Michael Byrne.
Lots of lap traffic for...
Here comes Windham. McGrath sandwiched momentarily. It's Tortelli on the inside. Windham trying to get around him on the outside, and the crafty veteran says, I don't think so, boys.
And yeah, Tortelli mistiming that rhythm section. Still able to get through that triple.
I think a lot of guys have underestimated Jeremy, thinking that he's been out of the sport for 2 years. I'll be able to pass this for old time's sake. McGrath certainly still has something there.
Oh, definitely. And as his training gets better and better and gets more adaptive, riding the 20 laps of the main event, right there, just not able to get that triple again. I'm not sure if it's the line he's choosing, but both times he was on the right line, and a rider on the left was able to get right by.
Well, despite that little bobble for Ricky Carmichael, he turned the fastest lap thus far to 50.50. Reed posted a 50.53. As we go back and look at the start one more time, everyone else is 2 seconds off that pace. Ricky Carmichael right in the middle, but look at Jeremy sweeping to the outside. Unbelievable.
Well, he knows his lines, he gets the whole shot. If he puts it all together, there's probably a podium finish in there somewhere for him. The guys have been tough tonight. a lot of people racing to the front where sometimes we see people settling in. Tonight in that top 10, everybody's racing forward.
Jeremy picking up the Butterfinger Crisp Pole Shot Award. Good for I'm sure a few pieces of Butterfinger Crisp candy and a little bit of cash as well. We are just so happy to have Jeremy McGrath out here racing once again. Jeremy sliding back just a little bit in the field, Cameron, and I think this is where not being a full-time, he didn't go to Indy last week. I know he trained when he stayed at home, but not getting race laps may be hurting him.
You also got to ask yourself, is he a little sore? He had a pretty good crash where he high-sided over Ernesto Fonseca into the upside of the berm, and it never feels good coming to a sudden stop on an upside.
Keith Voss trying to get the pass on him. There you get a good look at Mike LaRocco, who currently sits in 4th place. The Rock trying to get back onto the podium. We're going to step aside, take a break. When we come back, does Ricky Carmichael get 6 in a row? Does Chad Reed close in on him? And does Mike LaRocco get on the podium? Find out after this. Welcome back to Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California, as we go on board with Ricky Carmichael as he gets set to lap all the way up to 7th. That is Sebastian Tortelli, Cameron, in front of him.
Tortelli almost takes out Carmichael in the whoops.
Tortelli gets back into the traffic. Now, he got passed by Michael Byrne. He got off track, and that has got Chad Reed closing in. Chad Reed is only about 2.5 to 3 seconds down from Ricky Carmichael. Unfortunately for Chad, though, he has got to get to some lappers. He does that. Carmichael now out in front. Let's watch this one more time.
Look at this. He's poised to go past Tortelli, and look at him come across. Ricky's like, ah!
And it's his teammate.
Tortelli had no idea that he was there, but Tortelli saves it. Ricky plays it smart. These guys are moving through very fast lap traffic, and the advantage that Chad Reed has is that Ricky Carmichael is catching the lappers first, and they don't know that he is there. Once they see that Ricky Carmichael is passing through lapping, they have a tendency to look over their shoulder and look for that second-place rider and make room. We saw it with the Michael Byrne pass. He looked back after Ricky went by and let Chad by easier.
Unbelievable that Kevin Windham just got a faster rider coming through flag. Ricky Carmichael is set to pass Kevin Windham in 5th, and he has to slow down. Windham takes a look over. He gets back into it, but Chad Reed is close that much. Chad Reed now down by less than 2 seconds.
And Ricky Carmichael not able to skim that whoop section. 2 riders, Kevin Windham, who was a lapper, and I believe another rider that was down 2 laps blocking the section. Ricky having to basically crawl through the whoops, well, for Ricky and Chad's speed.
And Chad did not look too happy with Kevin Windham right there. Threw his hand up a little bit in frustration. As Windham, I don't think you made a good point, Cameron. I don't think Kevin Windham knew that Chad was coming through as well. So Ricky Carmichael out in front by just over 2 seconds on Chad Reed. Ricky, a slight bobble right there as he comes to the corner. Look at the lap times. They continue to come down for number 22, Chad Reed. And watch him scrubbing that speed as he comes through. I think Ricky now has gotten the message. Chad is closing in and closing in fast.
Definitely. Joe Aloff letting both riders pass smoothly. Now they're going to be coming up. It looks like might be Brian Mason in front. Remember, these riders really don't know that they're there. And
almost gets clipped by another lap rider. So Carmichael having his problems getting through the field, but Chad Reed has got it down to about 1.5 seconds. When they come around this next time, the white flag will be out. This is the 250 man from San Diego. Can Chad Reed get a run on him here at the whoop?
Well, 4th place, Michael LaRocco is just ahead, as is David Villemin.
And there's 3 riders right in front of them. This could cause problems for Ricky. The white flag is out. It's the final lap of the 250 main. Quite possibly the closest race. Look at this. Chad Reed only 10 feet down.
Oh, and Ricky Carmichael keeps the momentum in the whoop. But now remember, these next 2 riders ahead of him are 3rd and 4th place. You got to be kidding me. They're not going to be letting someone go by that easily. They're trying to work around their own lap.
Reed gets in tight, shows him a wheel, and Reed gets the lead. So Ricky's got half a lap to get around the lap rider and Chad Reed, and it's Chad Reed who goes to the front. What an amazing turn of events. David Villemin now slows him down.
Takes him high, his own teammate takes him high. Villemin's like, I'm in 4th place, I'm getting lapped.
Chad Reed brings it down to the whoops. Ricky's got a great drive.
Oh, and Carmichael's down.
Carmichael throws it down, pushing too hard. Chad Reed brings it around. The checker flag in the win. Chad Reed, your winner in San Diego. And what does that do the title as Ricky's able to remount his bike and come on down. And unbelievable, he has not turned it around yet. He is still in second. I think right now, Cameron, he is thinking, what did I just do? But he had such a big lead on everyone else, and Chad was just coming through. I talked to Ricky earlier, Cameron. He said the most important thing is I protect my championship. Right now, he just opened the door big time. The worst thing I think he could have done was give Chad Reed a breath of life. Unbelievable as Chad Reed talks to Ricky. The drama continues to build. When we come back, we'll talk to all the players when we return to San Diego. Welcome back to San Diego, California, Qualcomm Stadium. It's the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series, and that man has just electrified more than 50,000 people as Chad Reed picks up the win. As we take a look at our Honda results, Ricky Carmichael goes to second, and Mike LaRocco will join them on the podium. What an amazing turn of events as we send it down to the podium, check in with Jamie Little.
Well, Todd, now that we've all caught our breath, we catch up to Mike LaRocco. You guys, this is his 80th podium of his career. Mike, can you believe it's been 80 podiums?
No, I can't believe it's been 18 years either, but you know, what the heck, what else I got to do? This is awesome, you know, racing Supercross and in front of all these people, and you know, have great sponsors like I do, Factory Connection, AMSOIL, and you know, Rockford Fosgate's now with us, and you know, Napster. It's just, it makes it hard to leave.
Thank you, Jamie. It's now time for the Nissan Turning Point. Cameron, could it be anything else?
Well, the end of it all was Ricky Carmichael going down, and off went Chad Reed. Props to Ricky for trying to hold it together, but it just wasn't to be.
That's your Nissan Turning Point. He's standing by with Jamie.
Well, that curse for Suzuki continues. We thought finally they were going to get that win until the very end. Ricky, gosh, everybody thought you were checked out, and then all of a sudden Chad Reed reeled you in. What happened?
Well, I definitely made a bunch of mistakes tonight, especially through the whoops, you know, and I just got beat. You know, I know the lappers hung me up quite a bit, but, you know, when you have a lead like I had, there's no excuses. So, you know, it'll keep the fire burning. You know, when you win and you win and you win, it's just like kind of lose that motivation a little bit, but that's what makes it fun. You know, now I have something to work for this week and something to build on.
Do you feel like you should be a little bit more aggressive with lappers that are in front of you?
I mean, not really, because you never know where they're going to go. And, you know, it seemed that I just couldn't get by them fast enough tonight, and they're in their own race too. But no excuses. Chad rode really good tonight, and we're going to work hard next week.
So that sets up a great race for next week, February 27th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Check the new time from the Georgia Dome. Let's send it back down to Jamie Little.
That's right. Gosh, Todd, it's one thing that he won the race. It's another how he did it.